This is Mastering Mathematics with your teacher, Karen Weston.
Hello, welcome again to another in the series, Mastering Mathematics, a program sponsored by the Ministry of Education using its EBU unit, our Center for Mathematics Education, and ABS Television. My name is Dr. Karen Weston, and with me here is Jetta Charles, and we're aiming to make certain that you enjoy your mathematics session. Yes, here we go. So I sent you home last night because, yes, we know once it comes to money, everybody's focusing on that, okay? And what did we have? At Bank A, $1 was equal to $1.96 BDS. And we're asked to calculate the value of $700 in BDS. So you're in Barbados, somebody overseas and has sent you $700, and you want to see how much this is in Barbadian currency. Now, what are we going to do? And again, I invite my grade 6 students into this classroom because these are things too that you get on your examination papers, okay? Yes. Right. What do we have? What do we have? Here, what is the operation involved? And what are we saying? So you start looking, and we look, and we're given. So we're given US $1 is equal to BDS $1.96. So, when we are given US $700, do we expect to get more or less BDS dollars? Do we expect to get more or less than $1.96? And what is the answer, Jetta? $1 is equal to that. Would $700 give us more or less? More, it is more. And when the answer is more, what do we know the operation has to be? And it has to be multiplication, because we say we are multiplying. You see how the word just comes in? Right, okay, multiply. Okay, so it is multiplication. So what are we multiplying? So we know $1 is equal to $1.96. So that $700 would be equal to 196 multiplied by 700. Isn't that true? Yes. And that is why you have your calculators. You go quickly, you put in your 1.9. Oh, let's turn it on. You have to turn it on first. Then we're going 1.96, and it is multiplied by 700, and the answer is equal to, yes. And they tell us that we're going to get 1372 BD. All right? 1732 BD. But you know, of course, we could have done that easily, you know, even if these old-time people, because we'd say 700, that means multiplying by 100. So we're getting 1.6 multiplied by 100, put on the 2 zeros is 196, and then multiply by 7. Isn't that true, Jetta? You see how old-time people do the things quick, and people, so that we're not even going to say all that. But just because they have the calculator, I'm keeping it to the calculators, okay? Because mentally, we'd have done that quicker than the calculator, you know, all right? Because, yes, let me tell you what I just said. Our old-time people, because Mr. Richard, I know from Parham, can tell me all these easy things. Yeah, is 100, 700 is 7 times 100. So they would have just said 1.96 multiplied by 100. That would have given you 196. And then you just multiply 196 by 7, and we get our answer. No, students, see what you have. You have a calculator. We say yes with hidden boxes that we can say black boxes that you're doing the algorithm in here. So all you need to do now is just to say you put in your 1.96 and it is times 700, okay, and you just punch equal and you get your answer, and there it is. Okay, so that is the answer. In an examination, funny things happen. Funny things happen. And I want to draw this to your attention immediately. The child or the student would have looked and gotten this answer as 1,372 BDS dollars. Then it goes on now to read part 2. And it says, at Bank B, the value of 700, and they look up here and say, but it's 700 they asked me for, and they're telling them down here the value of 700 in BDS is 1386. So you know what some students do? They go and rub out their answer, the 1372, and say, oh Lord, look, they give you, anybody's so stupid, look, they give you the answer 1386. No, CSEC is not that silly, all right? They're not going to ask you for a question and give you the answer below, and you just pick it off and put it up there, all right? We know that in this world, currencies fluctuate, and that is why they give you the 2 different banks. It is in Bank A that the rate is 196. So you're doing that. So don't get any fluster, any rush to say, Lord, my answer wrong. Your answer is right, and you leave it there, okay? This is a new terminology. This is a new environment. And this is saying at this particular bank, all right, when you change your $700 in BDS, you're going to get 1386, all right? So then they're now asking you to calculate what it is that $1 would be equal to in BD at this bank. What it is that it would be equal to in BD at this bank. So we are starting again from our premise that they have given us to say that US $700 would have been equal to 1386 BD, okay? And we want now to find out what would US $1 be equal to. And we pause. What is the operation? What is the operation? Now, this is what we're looking at and saying. 700. Do we expect to get more BDS dollars for 700 in contrast to what we'd be getting for $1? Would we get more in terms of $1? What would we get, Jetta? It would be less. Isn't that true? Right? 1. So we have $700 giving us 1386. So $1 would give us less. And when it is less, what are we doing? We are dividing. We are dividing. Okay? So this now would have been equal to, it is 1386, and it is divided by our 700. That is what we are doing. And again, yes, I just give them the whole calculator here, where you have 13, and it is 86, and it is divided by 700, and it is equal to, and we see that the rate here would have been $1.98, okay, BDS, okay. So that is what the rate was. Now, I sent you home last night to do these questions. Did you get them? Right. So this is what we are doing. So you can punch punch and jump up and tell yourself, yes, okay? No, that was the entire question number 1. So I expect my students to get full marks for question number 1 on this CSEC paper. Can we not do that? Sure we can. All right? So if they had asked them to do all squares, you may see that you may be getting square root also. So it is now time for you to make certain each of these little buttons on your calculator, okay, however big it is, however small, make certain you're familiar with them, you know where what is, and you know how to use them, and you're punching your stuff and going as quickly as that, okay? That was question number 1 then. You remember the first part dealt with using a calculator to get that number. Second part we gave you in terms of that fraction, spending money. The third part was going to the bank. And now, after this break, I'm going to be coming back and we're going to be doing our question number 2. The format has not changed. Still the algebraic part of it coming through now. And I'm sure my grade 6 students are shaking their little heads, even some of the grade 5s, shaking their little head and say, but I can do that question. My teacher taught me that. All right? So, good. Take a break and continue to learn your mathematics. Just get the facts and you see, there's nothing difficult about this. This is one of the easiest subjects. All right? So, and it is so interesting. Right, so take a break and we'll be right back because we'll be going through question 2. And we hope to make certain that you see these are information you already have.
To succeed in mathematics, you need to build on what you've learned before. New concepts are added to and build upon previous concepts. It is very important that the early material be mastered thoroughly. Similarly, mastery of material from previous classes makes success in later classes more likely. So continually review and practice concepts from previous sessions.
Right, we're back and we're working hard, okay, because now, from now on, it's just sailing and all we're talking about is mathematics, okay? So here we go. The question 2. Look at what the question 2 said. The first part of question 2 on this CSEC 2015 examination question for the January exam. Simplify. And look, P cubed, Q squared, multiply by P Q to the 5th. That's the first question you have there on the exam. All right? We had done our indices. We know the laws. When we have indices, what do? We add the roots that are the same. So look at this, our P's. So it would be P cubed plus this P here would be P to the 1 when you see P on its own, 1. And then it would be the Q's, Q squared, and it is plus the Q to the 5th. And the answer is just P to the 4th, Q to the 7th. Marks, 2 marks already. The B part to that question, what does it say? And it says, so the B part says, express, look, oh my gosh, express as any one of these students go in a classroom and don't pass the maths, just tell them when they meet me, see? Oh my gosh. Oh my. You just make certain you make your teachers proud because they have been working so hard day and night, giving up exam, giving up vacation just to prepare you. So students, you do the work. If you do the work, you do your practicing, we have given you. Washington Bramble has spent a lot of time putting those things on the website. Jetta has spent a lot of time editing these things, first of all, to get them in tune. And we have made certain we know where you play on your YouTube and Facebook. Everything is there for you. There's the CAN. We have all the different sites. You go because you know some of them. CSEC has put a syllabus right there too. You check and you see. And parents come in and play your part. Why is it that our parents were just a piece of crackers tied around the waist, going out to sea or going to the farming to think we're more serious than our luxurious parents with their cars and their whatever, and giving you the most recent technological tools? That does not make sense. Give them a sense of value of the things that we need to make them respectable, productive citizens. Tell them how important an education is, okay? And students, want it for yourself too, okay? Make your life a better one just by making certain that knowledge is what you're after, not money. Plus 3a over 2. Look at it. Simplify, express as a single fraction in its simplest form, and that is 5 over a over 5 plus 3a over 2. That is a fraction. If we took away this, the a's, you would have been getting something like 1/5 plus 3 over 2. The a's are just saying that they have a title. All right? So this is all. So if you see that this, because if it's A, it means 1A. So if you see an A here and you see 3A there, it's the same operation that you were taught right in our primary schools. So we're finding the LCM. And what is the LCM of 5 and 2? Again, it would be 10. And all we're saying, 5 into 10 goes 2 times. 2 times A would give you 2A. And it is plus 2 into 10 goes 5 times. 5 times 3 would give you 15A. The things are the same, so we're adding them. And what are we getting is equal now to 2A plus 15A. How many A's would we have? 17A over 10. And that is the answer. That is the answer. Of course, I tell my students, you can just cross multiply, then cross multiply. So you can say 2 times A, 2A, 5 times 3, 15A, and 5 times 2, 10. You get the same things quickly too. All right? And that is your answer. Okay, so 2 more marks there. And then it says, factorize completely. Oh my gosh, if I see Annette and Charmaine, I want you to give me a phone call so that I can see what you thought about this examination.
Still not in simplest form is first done.
Pardon?
Still not in simplest form.
Which one?
17A over 10.
17A over 10. We can leave it like that because we can't cancel the numerators or denominator, and we don't want to use it as a mixed number, because you would be saying that. And if they wrote it as 1.7A, that is still correct, because 10 into 17 goes one thing. Thank you for telling me, because sometimes some teachers said, no, this is wrong. No, it is right, okay? Express as a fraction in its simplest form. Okay, so we can leave it as an improper fraction. And if still they went and they interpreted, because they said in its simplest form, yes, let's expand on this a bit, in its simplest form. And generally, when they say in its simplest form, is to see that we can't cancel the multiples any further, all right? But if they also took upon themselves and wrote this as saying 10 into 17 goes 1 and 7 over 10, you would still have to give them their marks, all right? So there can be 3 answers for that. Thank you for pointing out that to me, Jetta, so that I can expand upon that, okay? No, and it's because in a simplest form would have meant that you could have been getting something like 24 over 48A. And then we would expect them to be cancelling further. That did not happen here because we were getting 17A over 10. So it's an improper fraction, so that even if they wanted, so CSEC has got to be careful too in terms of its interpretation, and they do make allowances for that, because having marked the CSEC, I see that sort of thing too, that you could have been getting 1.7A, or you can get 1 and 7/10 A, and that would have to be given to them. But generally, simplest form would always mean that you would have to be cancelling here. That would have been 2, 1, and 2. So that is, it is, so 24 and 24 goes once, 24 into 48 goes 2 times, so you get a half. Okay? Here, so the examiner should have written this way in terms of would have been getting a number that would have been behaving like that. It didn't. Okay? Now, part C of this question was saying factorize factorize completely. Okay, they love that word, completely, because we know you can factorize and then it's not finished. So factorize completely, and this is the first one that we had, and it is x squared minus 5x plus 4. And remember my going through and saying all these things, that there are at least 8 different types of factorizations. Okay, so we can do those where you have the distributive law, single brackets. Okay, and then this one now would be fit into the quadratic factorization, where 1 is the coefficient of the x squared terms. And we can just look on this and see what the answer is. You have 4 and you must get 5. And out of a 4 with a 5, you know the factors you're looking to has to be 4 with a 1. Isn't that true? And then because you're so well prepared, you're going, it's x. This can be minus 4 minus 1. Because we know a negative times a negative would give you a positive. And that's the answer. Okay? This is just going blam, 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 blam. Because you would have done the work. You'd have studied your information. So parents, don't say, I don't know how Miss Weston get those answers. These are something we teach them. And they would know right away that when we have our quadratic equation, what you have to do, because it is 1, to get this x, how do you get x squared? It would be x multiplied by x, and each x is placed in a different bracket. And we look at factors of the constant term. In this case, it's 4, and we could have had 2 times 2, and we could have had 4 times 1. Which of those would we be using? Because we want to get back the middle term, the coefficient of the middle term, which was negative 5. And we know we can't get it out of 2 times 2, so we know that that was out. And it had to come out of this, negative 4 and negative 1, so that when we add them, we're going to get negative 5. And when we multiply negative 4 by negative 1, we're going to get positive 4. So we must get both the middle and the constant term, whatever is our choice, all right? And that is what was done there. Now, here, the second part that they asked them to factorize completely was our m squared, and it is minus 4n squared. And again, you fit it and say, which one is this? And you're saying it's squared and it's 2 terms and there's a minus, so it has to be the factorization that goes with difference of squares. Isn't that true? And we are accustomed to be saying a squared minus b squared is equal to a minus b plus times a plus b. In this case, and we tell you to, you can test it, because you take, can we take a perfect square root for each of those terms? And you say yes. So you put up your 2 brackets, and you know right away it is m and it is m. So the square root of 4 would have been given you. So we can write back the minus for the first bracket, and it is 2n. But we know in terms of our difference of squared, 1 is minus, because you know we're getting plus or minus square roots. So then, and this is now plus 2n. This is just our difference of squares again. So this is the identity that we're using that says a squared minus b squared would have been equal to a minus b times a plus b. And you could have written either one first. All right? There's no excuse for you going in an examination room not knowing these. So we take our time. We say factorization will come. So you must go sit in as a student and tell yourself, categorize them, saying that there are 8 different types of factorizations, and you learn them. You make certain you know. Okay? Solve for x. So you see our factorization, there was nothing at all in this that was difficult. Okay? And here we go. Factorization, and it's not fast factorization, sorry. We're on to the D part now. So you see every little part is going to come. and it says D, and it says solve for x. And what do we have? You have 2x minus 7 less than or equal to 3. Now this again we say operate along our same way as if it was an equal sign, but this time it's the inequality and we don't change it. Less than or equal, taking over the 7, it comes as 3 plus 7. So we have 2x is less than or equal to 10. We don't want 2x, we want 1x. So we're going to be saying 2x, divide both sides by 2, less than or equal to 10 over 2. Please do not write equal in any of this, or else you're going to change it. And we say that the solution then is x is less than or equal to 5. So it would be the set of x such that x is less than or equal to 5. And then to go with this, the second part says if x is a positive integer, list the possible values of x. If x is a positive integer, list the possible values of x. And our answer would be the set of x. Here, look at what we have is the set of x. It's positive, x less than or equal to 5. So of course we're going, possible values would have been possible values could have been x is equal to 1, and it's 2, and it's 3, and it's 4, and it is 5. All right. So this is what they're asking us for. If it's a positive integer, list the possible values of x. Okay. And then here, the last part, and I'm sending you home to do this because this is where I'm going to pick up from next week. It says, so make certain you're copying down this and then say, Lord, I didn't get it. It says, find the value of 2 pi, and it is the square root of L over G. Okay, and where pi is equal to 3.14, L is equal to 0.625, and G is equal to 10. So we're substituting. So this is the one I want you to do for me for next week, and that's the last part of question 2. Can you believe it? So from the first 2 questions, I am saying I expect my students to get 2 full marks, okay, for those questions, and if not, to lose just a few little mark, okay. And when the nerves have settled down, make certain you go back and check your question number 1, all right, because you're nervous, you're going in the exam room and you need a little time to settle down. So when you finish your exam paper and say, yes, I'm finished, you have a little time, go back and check question number 1, okay. By number 2, you're growing into things, so you know what you're doing, okay. Work this for me for homework. Find the value of 2 pi times square root of L over G, where pi is equal to 3.14, L is equal to 0.625, and G is equal to 10. We are enjoying bringing these things to you because we want to show you, yes, I can. This mathematics exam holds no demon for me. I am the one that's in charge here. We are going to make it. So until next time, this is Karen Weston saying, do enjoy the rest of your evening.
Join us next time for another in the series, Mastering Mathematics, a production of the Education Broadcasting Unit in the Ministry of Education and ABS TV.